Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Ozcast.
Fortunately for them, their DJ neighbour Matt Burgess couldn't sleep.
My night, Jared Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages.
Oh, mate. Jared, I love him. He's a great guy.
Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe. It's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
Ah, yes. Jared Walsh. Welcome to you. That's a new intro there.
Yeah, a brand new intro. Kate, Tim and Marty stitched me up the other day as well. I was waiting for something like that to happen. Hey, Matty. Andy Martin's here as well. G'day, Andy.
G'day, guys. How you doing? Good, mate.
From Ozcast Network, thanks to Con at Brighton Trophy Centre. We got a lot to get through, especially Con. You better be listening to this, you dog.
All will be revealed.
Yeah, very soon. Just quickly on the intro. So last year and the year before, I got asked to host our company awards. So it's not like industry awards, it's company awards.
So Strictly Nova.
Strictly Nova. The good thing is everyone at Nova had a chance to win then, because we never win anything at the ACRAs, which is the Commercial Radio Awards. And mate, it's the most nervous I've ever been. The most nervous I have ever been.
So you've stood in the middle of Adelaide Oval in front of 50,000 people. You know, A-League Grand Finals and showdowns, and that was the most you've been nervous.
Well, the thing is, you're standing in front of all of your colleagues and your peers, and people like Tim Blackwell and Kate Ritchie and Marty Sheargold and Fitzy's there, John O'Brown, Sam Pang. So you don't want to stuff it up. No. And I think I did okay.
Right.
But those guys go to those events and it's the same as the ACRA Awards. They're just so boring. Like you go there and it's just a nightmare. So I'm the person that has to stand up there and host it. And before that audio where Marty called me Jared, he said, what about that kid from Adelaide who got up and did a bit of a TED talk for 10 minutes for the intro? And like JB, it's nice that they remembered that moment, because I don't think that they would have remembered anything else from that night, because they get pretty loose.
Well, that's what industry nights are all about, isn't it?
Was that the year that old mate from Brisbane got up?
Yep.
Tell the story, Jared.
So there's a guy who used to be on Nova. His name is Greg Burns, right? And Greg Burns is a guy from the UK that was really actually massive profile in the UK. He's been on The Office, like the Christmas special with Ricky Gervais, stand-up comedian. His stand-up comedy is pretty funny. And he came over to Australia to do what he thought was going to be, I think, Sydney radio. And then he ended up doing all the work days at what we called multi-market. So he was sitting in a studio in Sydney, but then doing 4 different shows at once, and it was full on, right?
Okay.
And at that time, the biggest gripe that people get about the radio industry is, A, they get pissed off that Big Brother personalities go in work in commercial radio, which we can talk about in a second. And then the second thing they get annoyed at is that regional people who have been working their asses off don't get an opportunity to go to Capital City Radio.
Sure.
I understand that. But this guy has a big reputation. The boss put his balls on the line to bring him on there. And it didn't work out. So we get to this industry awards, and one of the Brisbane Brekkie hosts gets on stage and he goes, "Oh, yeah, it's Greg Burns here. Yeah, what are, how you going? Yeah, slept with a Casanova. Yeah, she's a Burns victim. Yeah." And,
Burns victim.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
It was like that. And it was like silence in the room. No one laughed. No one laughed.
So it just flattened out.
It flattened out because it wasn't a nice exit that he had from the business. I don't think. He doesn't seem to think that way on his social media and stuff. So anyway, it was a bit of a weird thing. The Big Brother thing's really interesting. And you work in radio as well. So you go, people who are on reality television actually are doing a live demo as you speak on reality TV. So you get an insight into their personality. So I don't understand why people are annoyed that guys who go on reality TV get radio jobs, because it's worked out well for Fitzy and Chrissy Swan.
No, he wasn't. It's okay.
Okay,
what about the winner one year that ended up in Hot Tomato? What's his name?
Trevor.
He
won $1 million and then started driving around the Hot Tomato cars handing out icy cold cans of Coke.
And Hot Dog's got his own Up Late show.
And I lived in the same apartment as Hot Dogs in Melbourne.
Did you meet him?
In the lift.
Right. What was he like?
Didn't talk to him. But I was looking, that's Hot Dogs. I think his name's Simon.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
What was remember the guy that used to host and it was the voiceover for all the
Mike Goldman.
Yeah, and then he was doing that, and then he moved on to Amart All Sports
he still does
commercials.
it.
Right.
Yeah. Then he was doing the emceeing for the Sydney Kings home games.
Okay.
But then that's not happening anymore. And I reckon he's had work done on his hair. Because I've got a really good radar of people who have had work done on their hair, and Mike Goldman, I reckon he's gone from Big Brother where he had minimal work done. Now he's got luscious locks.
Yeah,
he does a podcast as well.
Bit of warning about him, I reckon.
Yeah, there's a bit of warning about him. So this has been a great chat.
Advanced hair, yeah.
I went to Advanced Hair once to inquire, and like, mate, we're going to sit you down and put these lasers on your head, and all you have to do is take a pill for the rest of your life. It's going to cost you $10,000. I'm like, I might just go to America. So I just said I'm not going to do it and just went bald.
We've got a friend of the Ozcast that actually worked in one of the high up head offices of one of those companies, not that one, but another one, and he said it's an absolute crock of shit. Right. A massive rip-off. Never bother going to it.
Right. Was his name Ashley or Martin?
Oh shit, son. We don't have a...
Man, I feel like I'm back at Nova.
No, this is brilliant. We've got a lot to get through in this podcast today. Another great round of best team men. So very soon we are going to give you an update on what happened with the Port Pirates over the weekend, because it was a brilliant experience for myself. I went there, Matty ditched me, which wasn't nice. Sorry. There's something there is a little bit of sport I want to talk about, because
we'll cover a little bit.
I loved from the weekend. We need to discuss the epic fail that was our multi.
Yeah, I can't wait to die.
And there's a chance we're going to ban someone from the podcast.
Oh.
We are going to add a couple of names onto our plaque as well from Con at Brighton Trophy Centre.
While we're on that, should we delve into what's happened?
Yeah, we're not a very funny show. We're not a very punny show, but there is a big controversy about this podcast and our major sponsor, Con, at Brighton Trophy Centre, who invested in us.
He did.
He's made us what we thought was a massive trophy.
Yes.
And we love that. He engraved it free of charge, which is brilliant. He put us on his lights outside the Brighton Trophy Centre.
The scrolling LED screen.
Outstanding. You know what? He said we will give the Port Pirates, I think, 20% off their end-of-season awards, their trophies and stuff. Great. We thought we have an exclusive deal with Con from Brighton Trophy Centre.
And then the other morning I was driving, and for whatever reason, my car radio was on 5AA.
Yeah, because you like listening to 5AA, especially between 4 and 6 in the afternoon, Monday to Friday.
Right, exactly. I must have been listening to it the night before.
Yeah, great.
And then, I just carried over through the next morning. Anyway, I was listening to the two guys that
David and Will.
David and Will, yeah, they fire off in the morning. They're a good listen. And anyway, they were talking about like a suburb competition.
Yeah, Battle of the
Suburbs.
Which everybody's been doing in isolation. They've been doing, hey, let's put up a poll and see which suburb's the best and which footy oval's the best. And hopefully I don't get noticed standing outside Red Square because I'm a media identity.
Anyway, I was driving along and then I heard this.
We have a very exciting announcement to make when it comes to the World Cup of Suburbs. We were contacted by Con, who runs a business called the Brighton Trophy Centre.
Oh, this is excellent.
And Con said you can't have a World Cup without the cup. And so Con has made the World Cup cup.
This is sensational.
That we've got in the studio right now.
I am holding it in my hot little hands. This is a bit like being handed the Jules Rimet trophy, Will. It's
a big moment.
It is. And look, Con's even left a little gap here so that this can be an annual thing. Suburbs with a dash. So you can, scroll it in there.
It is. It's a smart looking chalice.
Yeah.
The Brighton Trophy Centre. They do medals, plaques, honour boards, name badges, school awards, you name it, they do it. Give Con a call. Good on you, Con. Thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it.
Con
is whoring himself out any way that he can. And there's a couple of things that stand out. Con, first of all, you are our sponsor, mate. We understand that you obviously want to share the love, which is great. The other thing is, it says you contacted them, which is fine because you contacted us to talk about sponsorship, but we gave you that opportunity, which is great. We are not a highly sought-after podcast when it comes to sponsorship, so we want to hang on to it.
That's right.
However, I have seen both trophies.
Yes.
Our trophy and the trophy which you provided to David and Will. Now, I don't know if you're being ironic or it's a little bit of banter, But compared to David and Will's, we have the smallest trophy in history. It's like Rick Moranis came in and made Honey, I Shrunk the trophy.
Theirs is the size of the SANFL trophy. It's massive.
It is huge.
Huge. It looks like someone could hold that up after winning a World Cup in any sport, and that would be sufficient. That's how big it is.
I think it kind of suits our brand of the podcast that we're a little bit crap and we're the underdog.
We're smaller.
Yeah, we're obviously very smaller looking at the trophy we've got now. And I did need to borrow a telescope to see our engravings of our names on our trophy just to double check that they're there. Con, this is a make or break moment for us because we're not offended, but
no, we're grateful still.
We're grateful, but it's like your missus coming home and saying, hey, just to let you know, I have spent the night with this guy and he's got a much bigger old mate than you. But I'm still prepared to bounce back and forth between the both of you. I'm not prepared to do that.
Now, we've brought Con business.
100% we
Port
have.
Pirates and potentially the Yankalilla Footy Club.
Yep.
Putting them on the spot right now.
Yeah,
I haven't actually asked them. But anyway, Con, you're going to get Yankalilla. What have David and Will brought you?
Well, they've mentioned the Brighton Trophy Centre, I reckon, 3 times in that break you played.
Yes.
We mention them all the time, social media, everything.
Yep.
Now, look, David and Will have an actual audience. So that's...
Well, I don't want to break in there, do they? The surveys are fake, aren't they?
Andy, at last check, how many listeners do we have to the nearest 10?
Thousands, yes. Well, I can confirm with you, like, I don't want to get into podcast business politics and stuff, but there's a white paper out at the moment saying that podcasters are the new influencers and they're actually the ones that are going to be taking over from all your influence on social media and stuff.
There you go.
Well, it's important to know that, Con, because we are trendsetters here.
We are. Yep. You jumped on us early enough.
Yep.
Look, we've had a bit of a hiccup, but we'll forgive you.
Yeah. So what we do from here, I'm not sure. I still think we keep Con on as a major sponsor.
I think we do too. Yeah. Look, he's been very good to us and he came to us, so it's been good. I don't think we drop Con like that at all.
No, and it's also good seeing the people that you care about doing well and getting the promotion that they deserve.
Yes, absolutely.
Who, Dave and Will?
All right, so let's move on to the Port Pirates. It was great. I was all excited last week that you were going to join me.
Apologies.
Matty, and you didn't, which was a real waste of time.
You did send me video updates and stuff like that, so I did feel like I was actually there.
It was brilliant. So
Hey, the actual where they play looks really nice.
The pitch is amazing, man. So it's in Taparoo, which is by the name of the suburb, it isn't appealing. No. So I put on the bulletproof vest and I went out there. But Port Pirates used to be next to the Port Hockey Club, I think on Hart Street, but they've since relocated. And Croydon Kings are now where Port Pirates used to be, and Port Pirates are now at Taparoo. An amazing facility for juniors and for seniors as well. So there were 3 games. I went out early and I wanted to go check out the reserves, but the time between the reserves game and the seniors was a couple of hours, and I've got a daughter. So
that's a pretty significant gap between.
Yeah. I don't think they had any like halftime entertainment or anything like that. So I went and had a look at them, and it was funny because the game before on the other pitch was an outdoor pitch with no fencing, and it looked like it was probably just a Div 6s or something.
Parkland stuff.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Because all you can hear is, ref! Send him off! My 3.5-year-old daughter, who learns a lot of words from me now, and I'm proud to say that I have not taught her a swear word. If she hasn't learnt swear words by watching that game, it's unbelievable. So the game finished, and the moment where it finished was when there was an attempt at goal from a free kick, and the ball was going to go out over the back line, but before the final whistle was blown, the player, one of the defenders, decided to catch the ball.
In the field of play?
Yeah, you can't do that at soccer. So the ref didn't send him off.
It's called handball.
That's exactly. An intentional. It should have been red card, and he should have got the card anyway. So we went across, we sat down, and we had a look at the Port Pirates, and I was actually very impressed with watching them play. Our boy, the Skeff.
Yeah, we're on Skeff, aren't we?
We are on Skeff. Yep. After scoring a brace last week against the Northern Demons, Skeff scored again. He was injured in the first half, and they had to bring out the medicos.
Right.
But he was okay, and they ended up winning 1-0, which was brilliant. But
and Skeff was the difference.
Skeff was definitely the difference. There was a good crowd there. Probably the most annoying thing was my kid because she was just sitting there asking questions. Why are they called pirates? And I'm like, because they are.
What does it mean when they say, "I will cut you"?
Yeah. all that stuff. It was great to watch him, but I did need to come back and say that we've got a couple of boys. So we can't just talk about the Skeff, but we need to talk about some of the other people that...
So we're putting together a little crew here that we're getting around.
Yeah. And look, they had a pretty sturdy defence. It was a pretty back and forth game. They missed a couple of opportunities, and I was sitting next to two old blokes who were like, "Oh, that was an opportunity they missed, wasn't it?" It was like the two old dudes from the Muppets watching a game.
Were they Port Pirates stalwarts, or were they sort of neutrals?
I reckon they were. So I sat pretty far away. I didn't go introduce myself or anything. I just kind of sat there just watching. I wanted to focus on the football.
Did anyone come up to you?
No one came up to me, and I messaged Dan afterwards, and he said, "Oh, sorry, mate, didn't even realise you were there." So that was really made a big
after they posted on their Instagram for someone to go buy you a beer.
Yeah, no, I bought me a beer, mate. Okay, so Skeff was brilliant. Now, there also is number 11, Rohani. He, on the wing, was amazing.
Quick.
Very quick, very skillful as well. He was playing on the left-hand side of the pitch. And Williams, number 9, was also very skillful, strong player, a bit stocky.
Okay.
But I rate him. So it was very good. The other thing I noticed, and we've got a photo on our Best Team Men Facebook page. What is our social media?
At Best Team Men on Twitter and facebook.com/@ Best Team Men. Not at Best Team.
Okay, so what is our social media?
Facebook.com/Best Team Men.
Thank you. All of the seats on the bench, normally people sit on a bench, and it's great to see the Port Pirates social distancing.
Yes.
And they had the spaces, and I looked at the Northern Demons, and I'm like, you need to learn from us. It's very unprofessional from the Demons.
Where is the Northern Demons base?
I don't know who Norman Demon is.
Norman Demon. I'm having a shocker today.
No, that's totally fine. It's really consistent.
Where are they based?
Don't know or care.
North.
All I care about the Port Pirates.
Yeah,
and
fair enough.
We're doing well. So you're going to come out to the next home game?
Yes, I will be there.
Timestamp that. So it was it was good, and it's a good team to get behind. So very happy with the Skeff and the performance. And next time I will have a beer when we're there, Matty.
Yes, we will have a beer. And like we've been saying for weeks and probably months now, we do need to get out to a training and put ourselves through the paces. So which will be interesting.
So you guys just heading out to any local sports, or is it just strictly soccer?
No, not really. Like I think we've got the focus on the Port Pirates now, but there's actually something was suggested to me by a friend, which I don't dislike the idea of, and that is Maddie and I want to get better at commentating, and we thought of going out to a junior club. So say if it was the Port Pirates under 12s, and we take out a recorder and we actually commentate the under 12s game, and then send it back to the club.
I don't mind it.
That is awesome.
That is a great idea.
So you could get junior clubs involved, and we go out there, we take our little kid out there, and we will just find out the player names. But if you get them wrong, it doesn't really matter. But we go there and do a commentary of like an under 12s game.
Because I feel like a lot of clubs actually video their games now, and so they can actually put the audio to it and give it to the kids. And they'll probably not like us after that, but that's all right.
No, I mean, what could be worse?
No.
They listen to this podcast.
Well, I was just going to say what could be worse is probably the SANFL.
Oh, no.
Have you heard that?
I'm a massive fan of the Sandful. Oh, you're talking about the commentary?
Yeah, the commentary.
Yeah, I think my dad does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah.
All right, so for anyone that was listening last week, we've jumped onto a new concept. We're putting on a same game multi every single week.
I've got my money for this week's as well for you today.
That's fine.
There you go.
And, thank you. So we put a same game multi on. We open it up to the listeners, the tens of them, and we asked them to submit their leg that they think was going to come in.
Yeah, it's good because I'm not strong with gambling or anything like that, but you know what you're doing.
Well, debatable.
You took a gamble when you went to Subway last week and got a Fanta.
We're going to talk about that soon. We have to. What is wrong with Fanta?
We can get to that. I sidetracked you, sorry.
That's all right. Anyway, so we've put this multi on and we've gone through, and I reckon upon reflection, we need to screen the legs a little bit better.
Yeah, so can you go through the legs? Because we both suggested 2 legs.
We had our own,
Go through every individual leg and whether it got up or it didn't, and we've now got sound effects we can use
We
for
do.
it.
Okay, so it ended up being a 7-leg multi. Okay, we put $10 on it, and collectively it came out, we would have won $1,640.
That's not bad.
That should have been the first red flag.
Why?
Well, that's hard to win off $10. That's
Mate,
not great
dream
odds.
big.
That's not great odds.
At some stage, we didn't have a sponsor of this podcast, and now we might not anymore, but it's okay.
All right. So the legs were Robbie Gray, anytime goal scorer. That was mine.
Great work.
Brad Ebert, anytime goal scorer.
No. Very low-scoring
Didn't
game.
come home.
Yeah.
No. Travis Boak, 15 or more possessions.
That was mine.
That was yours.
Yeah.
Todd,
Because he was going to be tagged.
He was,
So
yeah.
I thought, okay, he's not going to get over 30, but if you get him over 15, 15's pretty decent
manageable.
game
Yeah.
midfielder.
Todd Marshall to score 3 or more goals. No chance. The combined score to be over 124.5.
That was that's 50-50, that one, because it was a pretty low-scoring round.
It depends on what the game's going to look like.
Yeah.
Yep. Stephen Cornelio, anytime goal scorer. Bit of a trend here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Travis Boak, 25 or more.
Yeah.
And that's our 7 legs. So if you can count, we got 2 dings. And they were both our legs.
We did well. So there's a couple of learnings from this. I think we need to go 5 legs in the multi.
5. We're going to cap it at 5
legs.
Yep.
So maybe you and I can come up with one collectively,
Yes.
and then 4 we can throw out to the
Sure.
listeners or fans on social media
Yep.
or whatever they are.
Happy with that.
The legs can't. I don't think the legs can be the same kind of category for the same player. So we had Boak 15
That's
and
right.
25.
So the first one up, I was a little bit conscious of not putting everyone's legs in. I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah.
So, but now we're telling you, if it's crap, we're not putting it in.
Yeah, so the part 3 learning.
Yeah.
Jack Hudson, you are banned from the multis. You have
Jack Hudson,
Yeah.
he had Todd Marshall for 3 goals.
Jack Hudson gets a 1-week ban.
Okay.
You are out.
He's out because he had Todd Marshall for 3 goals and then had the audacity to have a go at someone else's leg saying that it wasn't going to come
Yeah,
home.
he sure did. Huddo,
I like Jack.
out.
but
Now, we love
your
and
input on
your
the show.
dad, Anthony Hudson, but you are out.
Oh, far out.
Yeah, so what game are we going to do? I reckon we should do a Crows game now. A Crows St Kilda Monday night. What do you think? 'Cause we've got
Crows
time
Saints.
then to have a look at
agree.
the legs.
Agree. Yep. Monday night, Crows and St Kilda. So we've got some time to sort of see how the weekend's games are going to pan out, which
Yeah.
is not a great indicator. But
let
anyway.
me suggest something to you
Yes.
to start us off as our leg. You might not like this.
Okay.
Crows win.
Whoa. That'll give us some value.
I reckon you go Crows win.
Okay. I'm happy with that. We can do that. That's our combined leg.
All right.
Done.
So we'll put
Lock
the
that in.
$10 on there. It is there.
Yep.
I've brought 2
Yes.
not pineapples or
2 Lizzies.
2 Lizzies. I've got 2 Lizzies, and there they are.
And we're going to do it on the Crows and St Kilda.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll get that up on the socials in the next day or 2. But it's good that it's a Monday night because there's not much else going on Monday night, so we can sit there and write at home.
That's exactly right. Let's quickly wrap up on the weekend. I wanted to tell you what I loved, and this is I don't know, like Andy, you're a father of about 15 kids.
Yep.
And Maddie, unsure your situation at the moment because you are a kid because you drink Fanta. So what I loved on the weekend, which I actually haven't seen before, is I've got a daughter, and Andy, you've got 2 daughters. The fact that I was driving home from Port Pirates down Victoria, I think it's Victoria Road.
Yep.
We drove past the Portland Footy Club.
Yep.
There was a game of footy on. And then later on that afternoon, I drove past Port District's Footy Club. So they're like a couple of km between one another. The 2 games that I saw on were both women's footy games.
Awesome.
And I loved that because that's Saturday afternoon footy, women's footy.
Prime time.
It was, mate. And it was really good to see because I've never seen that before. And I think as fathers of daughters, you can see the opportunities that our daughters will have and not have to fight as hard for when they grow up. And it was great.
Yeah, that is good. I guess, down at Yankalilla, the women's team down there, a lot of the players are partners of the men's. So I guess the only bad thing about that is they don't get to watch each other play.
Yeah, but did you ever think that you'd say, hey, the women's team down there,
No,
when
not at
talking
all.
about local footy? It never happened.
No, it never happened. It was, even 5 years ago, you wouldn't even think it would be happening. So
Does that mean on the Saturday night at the club rooms they all punch on together?
after the game,
Yeah, especially. I don't even know where Yankalilla is. Where is Yankalilla?
Oh, it's just shy of Kangaroo Island.
It's a weird suburb name, isn't it? When you think about it. Yeah, I'm home alone this weekend. I might have a Yankalilla.
But in saying that, my 2-year-old daughter Georgia, her favourite ball is the football.
Which one?
There you go.
What?
Like AFL?
The round one?
Oh,
Sorry, the Sharon Macca's football.
Sharon Macca's,
Yeah, that's great. I think that there's good opportunity, and it was good to see as well. My neighbour Lily actually plays for Portland, so I think it was good to see.
Do you think it's something that your daughter, you're going to definitely encourage her to go down that path? Not force. You're not going to force her to do something, but is it something that you want to give her the opportunity to do if she shows some interest?
Yeah, 100%. I want my daughter to do whatever she has an enjoyment in, as long as it's not cricket. Which is good. And that's one of the great things about not having a son is you're like, at least we don't have to, because like I put myself in my parents' position when I was being conceived. No, like no, I do that for like I was such a shit cricketer. My highest score was 13 not out, and I used to open the batting. And imagine you're sitting there as a parent on a Saturday morning, a freezing Tasmania Saturday morning. And you're like, I'm going to go watch my son play cricket. And then I get out by like leaving the ball and I get bowled middle stump. Then you have to sit there the whole day and watch. That's torture.
My one cricket story is I played year 12 open boys cricket in high school. Had never played cricket at any club level or anything like that. I was simply playing to get out of school. And I was batting 6 or 7 and I was bowling 5 or 6.
Yep.
So I was smack bang in the middle of both. And I was the only player for the whole... We went to the final, so there's probably 6 or 7 games before you get to the final. And I was the only player that didn't bat or bowl.
Yeah, see, that's
so
horrible.
we didn't get out enough for me to come in, and we got teams out.
So you're technically an all-rounder.
I mean, but you know what's funny, and I've still got it, is my year 12 yearbook, when you know how they give a write-up on, you know, how the boys...
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was like, so-and-so took X amount of wickets, and Andy took, you know, X wickets, and Jared made so many runs. It went through them, all 11 of us. Down the bottom, Matt Burgess performed well in the field.
I love those stories though, because it makes us feel like this is what we're all about.
This is why we're here today doing what we're doing.
Right.
So.
Speaking of cricket, one of my mates is a really good cricketer, and he played for West Torrens and I think Grange now as well. And this is a story I was going to tell you last week, that we went on a ski trip to Mount Buller. So I went with him, and he plays hockey too, and another friend of mine. And you go away as like, you know, a group of 3 mates that you're going to the snow. It's a bit of a strange experience when you go to the snow, because you're out there boarding all day, then you're pretty exhausted, and you go home back to the room you're staying in. And we were staying in it wasn't like a hotel, it was like a dorm room. Yeah. And you want to go and socialise, but you kind of don't know where. It's a strange kind of setup, because a lot of the people working at the lifts are all tourists and exchange students and stuff like that. So night 1, we played the board game Risk. Now, we are in our mid-20s, like in their early 30s. You think of us boys going over there, go to Mount Buller, have a couple of beers.
Play some Risk.
He pulls out, do you want to play the game?
Boys.
Yeah, he got, and my mate Lee got so dirty because he wasn't winning the game of Risk. My mate's a fucking board game. This is also the guy who's such a tight ass that he goes to Coles and he rips the vines off vine-ripened tomatoes so he can put them through as the chip.
Oh, my God.
So it got to night 2, and I think we're only there for 2 nights, and we had a couple of drinks, and then we found a place where people were having drinks, and it was awesome. Lee and I got back to the room early, and then we started kissing. No, we didn't. No, so we got back to the room early, and the theme of the trip, which is really funny, was we had an FHM magazine, and Ricky Lee was on the cover of it.
Ooh.
And that was after Ricky Lee went through her whole body transformation. We were like, can't believe Ricky Lee is on FHM. It was just our running joke. So our other mate Ben, he arrived back at 2:00 in the morning, and I'm glad you're both here, because this is so foreign to me, and I've never known this to exist ever. I'm on the top bunk, and I've woken up. And I don't get too wasted because I don't want to hang over the next day, and I'm a bit of a control freak. So I can see Ben walk into the room and get into bed with Lee in the bunk under me and starts cuddling him. And then Lee's going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And Ben goes, "Ricky Lee." And then he kicks him out, and Ben proceeds Apparently this is a normal thing. He walks over, opens the cupboard, and starts pissing in it.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I've done that.
I haven't done it, but
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
taken
you're
the game
pissing
of-
in the cupboard. You're pissing in the cupboard. And he's like, shut up. I am not. I'm like,
he is.
yeah, you are. He literally, what is it with blokes pissing in the cupboard?
Well, they took the game of Risk a bit too far.
Well, would you like me to tell you my story
Yes.
on that? Okay,
Yeah.
so I was at an awards night for surf life saving or whatever. First time I've been proper drinking ever.
Yeah.
And I was 17. I got driven home because I was so drunk. I threw up everywhere in front of everyone. It was very bad. And took me back to mum and dad's place. They've guided me, and I'm like, I can walk myself. And then you walk down the passageway on the wall and all that
You're
sort of stuff.
hitting every wall like a pinball machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a Dodgem car. And you land into bed, and that's all good. And you go to sleep. I woke up to my sister yelling out, "Mum, Dad, Andrew's pissing in the cupboard." And all you could hear was literally me weeing into a bin which had a plastic bag in it. And that's all you could hear. And yeah, it must be a thing because the toilet was 10 minutes away.
You just missed it completely.
Yeah.
Have we told on this podcast the drunken story that us three were involved in together?
Grand?
The Grand. Have we told that story?
Not in
We're just spoken about
I don't
it.
think
Yeah.
so. Well, you know when you said that you were the most nervous you'd ever been at
Yeah.
there, and I was going to say, well, my most nervous was the night at the Grand when Andy was there asking for the microphone.
Dressed as a pirate.
Dressed as a
that's
pirate.
right.
And
yeah.
the two things that stand out is I'm standing next to you, Matty, at the DJ booth, and Andy goes over to grab some drinks. I think he grabbed one for each of us.
Well, one for every person in the Grand.
He was that loose that his hands were shaking. By the time he got back to the booth, there was nothing left in the glasses. Then he grabs the mic and goes, "Oh yeah, what up, Melbourne?"
I'm still waiting on a call back from the Port Pirates to be the mascot, to be honest, but that was a good night. That was
Dressed
a very
as a
good night.
pirate as well. It was awesome. We're going
Actually,
to play a game in a second. Keep
Sorry,
going.
was that when you put me in a cab and they sent me to Nova?
I abused you. I said,
Because
"Go
you had to work.
Yeah, I had
the
to
next
work.
day.
Yeah, and they sent me to Nova, and then I've spewed throughout the whole station. They had to replace the carpets.
Yeah, so I went into the building that next day.
So full replace the carpets.
Yeah, they had to replace the carpets, and I
Lucky-
was
all over
mopping-
the wall.
Yeah, I was
they
mopping
didn't-
the wall.
Lucky
as well.
they didn't replace the announcer.
Well, they did that a few times, to be honest.
It is now time for...
Oh, no, that's
Oh,
wrong
wait,
one.
you playing the game?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll tell the Big Brother afterwards. Sorry.
Okay.
And now it's everybody's favorite game. How many games have you played?
Did you do that?
Yeah.
is awesome.
It was a group effort between Andy and myself, so...
That is brilliant. If anyone wants to sponsor this game as well, how many games have you played? Let us know. Con at the Brighton Trophy Centre is our current sponsor at the moment. Hey, quickly, before we go into that, let's quickly put two people on the plaque as well.
Yes.
I want to put Josh Miller on there.
Josh Miller.
Who is a big listener of the podcast. He has his own podcast, I think, called the Powerhouse Podcast, which is, I think, about electricians or something like that. I don't know. So Josh gave some feedback the other day, said he enjoys listening to it and what grown man drinks Fanta.
Yep.
Do you want to put anyone on there?
Well, I was going to put Hutto on there, but...
Jack Hudson is banned from anything
banned.
for a week. We'll put him up there next week.
All
right, go.
Okay. All right, so first one from me. Braden Maynard.
Braden Maynard.
Oh, hang on. And Andy, it's a win if it's within 20 either side.
Yeah.
So.
You got to join in?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so and it's like Braden Maynard is the son of one of our old GMs.
Oh, old Maxie.
Yeah, who called me Jordan for 6 months. Yeah.
Is he the one that sounded like Chris McDermott? When
Yeah, he did a
spoke?
little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
He once had to sack someone while he was dressed as Santa.
Ho, out of here.
Guess what's in the Santa sack? Redundancy. Okay. So I reckon Braden Maynard, he's played over 100 games. I reckon he's played 104.
I'm going to go for 115.
103.
Oh, yeah, not bad from me. Thank you. I'm going to go to...
Andy's
I don't know.
playing now. He's
Is
not,
it a ding or a buzz? I don't know.
well, I got that one right.
Okay,
so
cool.
it's a ding.
Yeah.
So
Can you just write down... we've still got the thing from last week there. Great. Just put it... Thanks. Okay, Matty, Jack Martin.
Jack Martin. Ooh. Gold Coast now. Carlton, 40?
No, 102.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Oh.
102.
1-0 to Walshy.
Thanks.
That's my go. Jared Petrenko.
Oh, pup.
Big pup.
Played pre-season at Essendon after he was at the Crows for a bit.
Doesn't count.
I don't reckon he played 100 games. I reckon he played 70.
73.
Oh, going all right today.
Do you include it's just the full games for AFL?
Full
right?
games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Give me a ding. Fuck.
Sorry.
Dyson Heppel.
The skipper. He'd be pushing. Don't know if he's hit 200 yet. 188.
170. You get a ding. Good job.
Beautiful. Angus Monfries.
Oh, the old bloody Monfries.
The old Gus. I heard a story about him actually.
Can you?
Miners.
I don't know how true this is.
Wait, we can't be done legally here.
No,
we're on a podcast.
No, it won't be done legally. I don't know how true this is, but someone
say allegedly then.
Allegedly.
If you
Sorry.
start, well, I don't know how true something is.
Okay, so I'm not in the media. I don't understand how it works. But allegedly,
This is the same guy who called Peter Ford a poor man's Richard Wilkins on this podcast.
I'm surprised you weren't fucking banned.
allegedly, allegedly, prior to his draft, he went to Rebel Sport and tried on all the Guernseys to see which one he'd look best in.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That's something I do. That's something I do.
Anyway, Angus Monfries.
Yeah, I reckon he played a fair few at Essendon, same at Port. I reckon he's 230.
211.
Oh, going well.
He's going real well. What is it? 3-1.
Yeah. Mark McGough.
Mark McGough came on, stormed onto the scene, winning the Anzac Day medal in 2002.
Yeah.
Played in 2003. Might have been there in 2004. Did bugger all, then went to St Kilda.
Mate, it's not an essay. Just give me a number.
35.
49, you get a ding.
Yes. Taj/Ty Kennelly.
Ty Kennelly, premiership player for the Swans, did a little jig when he got his premiership medallion. 212.
197.
I'm still in?
Yeah.
I've got 4 out of 4. Todd Goldstein.
Wouldn't you play those extra 3 though? Just get you 200. Goldie.
His leg fell off, so he couldn't. Don't bring it up, mate.
Goldie. I reckon he's 215.
Yeah, you get a ding, 234.
Bang. Well, I've started poor, but I'm back sort of in a way. This wins it for you.
Yeah, it does.
I can't win if you win.
Okay.
Adam Uze.
Oh, that's a good one. How do you spell his surname, Andy? Uze.
OOOOOZEY.
YZE.
YZE.
187.
271.
Oh, that's far out. You got a lot of 2s in front of your names this week.
No, there's only 2 of my 5.
Yeah, great. All right.
So this
is for the tie.
This is for the tie. What happens there? Because we don't have a 6th one each.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Andy will just say a player's name, and it will be Dustin Fletcher because it's the only player he knows.
Damn it! That's what I was going to say. Oh man, you know me so well. Oh my god.
Andy's cousin is Dustin Fletcher or something.
Not Dale Fletcher.
Paul Stewart.
Paul Stewart.
Yeah.
Port doesn't it? Great Bruce McAvaney. No. Did he get?
Just give us a number, mate.
71.
101, I win.
So that's 2-1 now.
2-1. Great stuff. Let's finish off with this because I thought about this morning. And it's good that Andy's here, actually. For the people that don't know the role of a rent-a-crowd and a Casanova or a Black Thunder, can you please explain?
What they're supposed to do is they're supposed to take a client that's paid a lot of money and make that revenue really good for the radio station. So that means they have to set up something pretty cheap and nasty, but fun for the people that walk past it. So they'll be outside of, say, footy games, playing large Jenga, handing out icy cold cans of Coke.
Okay. Yeah. So there was one for Nova, and what normally happens is you get a budget to give away stuff to the people who come up. So the thing about Nova, which I really did like, was that it's not about icy cold cans of Coke. It's about cool stuff, and then have a Nova experience, which was great.
Sure. Yeah.
And there was one of these rent-a-crowd things at Harbour Town, and the Casanovas at the time were handing out lots of great things, lots of great items. But funnily enough, a few weeks after this rent-a-crowd at Harbour Town, I was called into the boss's office and told to sit down and to have a conversation. And I had no idea what it was about. And our boss at the time, Dave, said...
You're right.
Yeah, that's how he sounded. He said, now, listen, love, we've got to have this chat. I don't think we probably need to be, but we have to. There was a rent-a-crowd at Harbour Town over the past couple of weeks, and you might be familiar with what happened. And I'm like, no, I've got no idea what happened. And he said, well, we didn't actually have enough stuff to hand out. So our Casanovas decided to give away some of the promotional products at the radio station to some of the listeners who came out to say hello. I thought, great, that was awesome. And he said, yeah, they came and removed some of the books that were floating around the promotions department. I'm like, okay, great. So the Casanovas are handing out books and everything like that. Mm-hmm. One of the books that the Casanovas handed out was Gretel Colleen's autobiography. Right. Gretel Colleen, the former host of Big Brother, which is absolutely brilliant. And it's great because Big Brother's back now. So that's what made me think of this. And I said, awesome. That's great. Oh. So I used to do this thing at work where whenever we got promotional items that I thought were a little bit shit, I used to sign them. As the person. And upon receiving this book, which if you think you're a punter, you're Nigel from bloody Netherby and you've gone to Harbour Town, you've seen the Casanovas, maybe seen Andy Martin at the time, and he's gone, great, g'day Andy.
G'day guys.
This is amazing. Not only am I here at Harbour Town, I've seen Nova, I love Fitzy, and I've just received this book. It's Gretel Colleen, I love Big Brother, she's great. Open it up, can't believe it, signed, hold on a second. Because what I had written was to Dave, go and fuck yourself, love Gretel Colleen.
That is the best.
They returned it back to Nova and it came back.
So some 15, 16-year-old Big Brother fan has got a book that says, go and fuck yourself.
That is the best story I've ever heard.
I think I've had enough on that.
Next week, I've got a similar scenario story.
Brilliant. So. And it's been great having you on, mate. Look, every time that you're here, you should join us.
Yes. All right.
Please do.
Every time, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you press the Ozcast noise?
Ozcast.
Perfect.
Love that.
We'll see you next week.
See ya. Bye.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.